Antibiotics are medications that target harmful bacteria anywhere in the body. Short-term problems can include things like diarrhea or constipation. The question is, do I still need antibiotics? And this is a conversation for your doctor. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Gut Feeling podcast, where we digest modern medicine with old world wisdom. Today, we have another topic that comes up all the time. The topic today is antibiotics. How do they affect your gut health? And more importantly, what can we do to fix it? Before we jump right in, just a couple of words. This episode and all our prior episodes are for educational purposes only and don't take the place of medical advice from your doctor. So antibiotics. Who has not been on antibiotics at some point in their life? We all have. And antibiotics can be life-saving medications, and they have been life-saving medications. However, they are frequently overprescribed. And today we're going to talk about how you can minimize the effects of the antibiotics and how you can make sure that the antibiotics are actually necessary. So first of all, what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are medications that target harmful bacteria anywhere in the body. Different antibiotics target different bacteria and can target different places where those infections may exist. So they are anti-infection, but only for bacteria. They do not work for viruses. And the ones that are for bacteria typically also don't work for fungi or parasites. They're typically for bacteria. So it is important to know that if you have a viral infection or if someone has a viral infection, antibiotic is not the right drug. It's not the right drug. So what's the problem with the antibiotics? If they kill the bad bugs, what's the problem? The problem is they're not selective enough. So yes, they can be very effective. They can be very effective in killing the bad bugs, but unfortunately, they can also kill the good bugs. So what happens when they kill the good bugs? And why do we care about that? Well, there are very far-reaching effects of killing the good bugs. As you already know, I'm sure you guys all know if you've listened to my podcast before, the microbiome is a very important part of our health. It is the interface of our health. Everything gets coded in the microbiome. The microbiome is where the majority of our immune system is located. And the microbiome is involved in many things, including immunity, including neurotransmitter production, including hormone production. So there are many, many systems that rely on a healthy microbiome. Our microbiome is everywhere. It's inside and outside of our body, including on the skin, including in the mouth. But the majority, the largest part of it, is concentrated in the large intestine. And these bugs are intelligent. They are helpful in producing different products for digestion, for hormones, for neurotransmitters, for brain health. They are crucial. So if we wipe them out, we have problems. The problems can be short-term problems. Short-term problems can include things like diarrhea or constipation or any kind of change in your gut feeling, in your maybe upset stomach, nausea. Those are the most common effects when you take really any pill, but especially a pill that affect the microbiome. There can also be infections that can actually occur very quickly after starting to take antibiotics. The most famous one is C. diff. C. diff is a bacteria. The full name is Clostridium difficile that lives in our gut in control. So we do have some C. diff in our gut many times, but it's controlled. So it is not highly active. It is not highly infectious. But when we take down the guards, the good bacteria that keep it in check, that is when we can see the overgrowth of the C. diff. That is when we can see it become robust. And what happens when C. diff is robust? It can create a very serious infection. That infection can be many watery stools, horrible diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, can really create a lot of problems for a person. Dehydration, feeling very sick. We see that all the time in hospitals because people in hospitals take antibiotics a lot. There are other reasons, but the antibiotics are number one in terms of C. diff infections. Also, you can see the same thing with Candida. Candida can overgrow. Yeast can overgrow because the yeast is in check, the good bugs are the guards, and then we take down the guards by giving antibiotics that take down the bad guys and the good guys. And now this yeast that was controlled is overgrowing. Those are some of the short-term consequences, but there are long-term consequences because when we disrupt the microbiome, we disrupt all the functions of it. And how much of the functions that are going to be disturbed is dependent on person to person and how long the antibiotics were taken and which antibiotics and how old the person is. However, they do disrupt the microbiome, and potential issues include immune issues. No surprise here because so much of the immune system is located in the gut. So when we take down the good bugs with the bad bugs, the good bugs are involved in creating different aspects of the immunity. Molecules like antibodies and cytokines are all regulated by bacteria in the microbiome. So once we start taking down those good bugs, we affect the immune system. So that makes us prone to other kinds of infections in the future. So it's like a cycle. Okay, so now I have an infection and now I take an antibiotic for it, and now I'm prone to other infections, and then I'm going to take more antibiotics, and the whole thing can be a vicious cycle. Second really important long-term possible effect is autoimmunity. Because of the disturbance of the immune system and the inflammation from the dysbiosis. Dysbiosis means the abnormal populations in the gut or the not optimal populations in the gut can become porous, and it can become porous. And once we have a leaky gut type of situation, things leak through the gut, and the body can recognize it as a foreign substance and create a response to it. Remember I said it matters how old a person is. So this is particularly important in childhood because in childhood our microbiome is still developing. So what we want is to make sure we help the gut develop its microbiome. But if kids get antibiotics frequently in childhood, they're more prone to autoimmune disease such as inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. They're more prone to asthma. They're more prone to allergies. So it's an important consideration. Everything has a risk-benefit ratio. You have to think, well, if someone has an overwhelming infection and it is life-threatening, then you know what? We just take the antibiotics and deal with the problem later because someone's life is at stake. That makes sense. But antibiotics are overused. So the first and very clear way to avoid antibiotics is make sure it's a bacterial infection. So if something is likely to be viral, and if it's not such an important infection in terms of life, that it's not life-threatening, and it's a not life-threatening infection, then maybe hold off on the antibiotics and see what happens. Support the immune system, drink lots of fluids, take your vitamin C, eat your good healthy foods, and see, because our body is designed to fight infections. We have an immune system that's designed to fight infections. So many times it doesn't really need the help. So number one, if someone is trying to determine, do I need an antibiotic? Number one, see if you even have a bacterial infection. Does it look like a bacterial infection, or is it likely viral? A lot of upper respiratory infections are actually viral. So giving antibiotics for those kind of infections does not help at all with that infection and can actually create more problems. The second scenario, it is a bacterial infection. The question is, do I still need antibiotics? And this is a conversation for your doctor, and to ask, what is the risk if I don't take it? Well, if the risk is I may have one more day of symptoms and otherwise I'll be exactly the same, then I think it's important to look at the value of the antibiotics and the risk and benefit ratio. How much benefit am I getting and what is the risk? And everything needs to be evaluated like that. Everything needs to be looked at about the value, its benefit, and its risk. And the benefit needs to outweigh the risk. That is the first way to really make sure we minimize the effect of the antibiotics, is to be very clear about when we need them and when we don't. And many times doctors do prescribe antibiotics because the patient wants them. And sometimes they know that you don't really need it. But we know that patients like to come in and get a prescription, because if someone comes in, goes to a doctor, says, I have an infection, I have a problem, they're looking for a solution. And if the only solution the doctor has is antibiotics, sometimes they will write the prescription to make the patient feel happy, to make the patient feel comfortable, to make the patient feel like they didn't waste their time. But if you really want to be sure that you don't need it, talk to your doctor. Do I really need this? Or are you just kind of giving it to me because I showed up? Or what happens if I don't take it? And honestly, I think an honest conversation with your doctor like that would be helpful for them and for you to determine if the antibiotics are really necessary. Let's say the antibiotics are necessary, you took them, we need to rebuild. And it's certainly possible. How do we rebuild? Well, probiotics are helpful, but probiotics do not replace the bacteria in a 1-to-1 ratio with the antibiotics. So it's not like antibiotics kill one, probiotics replace one. They're actually much less effective. So they can be helpers, but they're not going to just negate the effects of the antibiotics. If you take the antibiotics and the probiotics on the same day, it's important to spread them apart. Don't take the probiotic at the same time as the antibiotic. May not be as helpful. So I would, if a patient's taking a probiotic, they need an antibiotic, take it one at the end of the day, one in the beginning of the day. Or if you need to take the antibiotics multiple times a day, it would be either beneficial to wait to start the probiotics or just try to separate them as much as possible. But the real way to replace our microbiome is from the inside out. How do we build our microbiome? And we keep coming back to the basics. Good foods. What foods do the bugs like to eat? They love plant-based fiber. So feed them that good fiber. Give them that food and let them thrive. Get your sleep. Get plenty of sleep. Take care of your mental health. Take care of your stress. All that will help you build your microbiome back. And just a few easy, quick things, and make sure you get lots of water. Water will help flush things out. Water is important for the gut, for the cells, for the immune system. So make sure you're getting high quality water. Bone broth is great for healing the gut. So if there's gut inflammation from the antibiotics, from the dysbiosis, from the abnormal populations of bugs that occurred as a result of it, then bone broth can help heal because it has collagen and it has amino acids that can be very helpful to build back the lining of the gut. And of course, avoid processed foods, avoid sugars, avoid toxic foods, keep it clean, eat your fiber, drink your water, eat your bone broth, and you will be able to build your microbiome back. And remember, be very selective. Make sure you need the antibiotics. Make sure they're necessary. Talk to your doctor and try to avoid any unnecessary antibiotics. Final thoughts, yes, antibiotics are probably one of the best pharmaceutical inventions that we have. They save lives every day. I've seen it in the ICU in the hospital. I've seen patients come back from life-threatening infections, and key players are antibiotics. Unfortunately, antibiotics can also do harm, especially if used in the wrong way. So make sure you are using them in the right way. Make sure you're using them only when necessary, and make sure that you're taking all the steps to build back when necessary. So stay healthy, stay gutsy. If you like this content, please see us on wholegut.com, and I look forward to seeing you next week.